Today we'll be getting into all of the available offerings for this year's EPCOT International Food and Wine Festival. Hello and welcome to the Let's Go to Disney podcast. I'm Oliver.
And I'm Lucy.
Today is Sunday, August 17th, and you're listening to episode 101, 2025 EPCOT International Food and Wine Festival. Before we get into today's main topic, here's what's going on in the parks right now. Disney Parks blog released the Foodie guide for the 2025 EPCOT International Food and Wine Festival, and we'll be getting into all of it in today's episode. Halloween is now in full swing at Walt Disney World, later than previous years, and it seems ridiculous to say that given that, it's August 17th, but yeah, they definitely took their time this year. But having said that, it's all up now, and Magic Kingdom hosted its very first Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party of this season on Friday, and it looks like the weather actually held up for the partygoers, which is great to see.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of reels about the first party. It looks pretty awesome.
For sure. Yeah, the Headless Horseman came out, which he doesn't come out in bad weather. So that was nice to see.
It's going to be a good night when he's out.
Exactly.
Disney's dining reservation system hit a snag earlier this week. Last week, we reported that reservations were set to open on August 14th for the upcoming Beak and Barrel Tavern over in Magic Kingdom, which is slated to open on August 29th. The Disney website had some issues with their reservation system, and now these have been pushed back. The messaging on the Disney website is now updated to say that the reservations will be open the week of August 18th, so this week coming up. We don't know exactly what date, but it will be sometime this coming week. Disney also announced that The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure, which is a reimagined show that opened earlier in May after an extended closure, is being added to the Lightning Lane multi-pass lineup for Hollywood Studios beginning on September 11th. So this is going to be a Tier 2 Lightning Lane, so we don't anticipate that this will change your strategy at all. Much like the existing shows like Frozen and Indiana Jones, you'll be able to book it fairly easily once you've hit the heavy hitter attractions for this park.
Yeah, agreed 100%. It's, like the shows, Frozen, Indiana Jones, solid shows. And they do fill up essentially. The lightning lanes do get booked up especially as you get later into the day when people have already used their lightning lanes for, the other attractions. And we anticipate that this will be a similar thing.
Agreed.
Yeah. In other news, Minivans, the Lyft service that partners with Disney, are adding an airport drop-off and pickup service for guests staying at Disney Deluxe Resort hotels. So this change is effective immediately, and it's going to cost you a pretty penny, okay? So a typical Uber or Lyft, just for reference, costs somewhere on average in the range of $40 to $70. Yeah, that's from MCO to your resort and vice versa. Minivans are going to cost you a whopping $199 one way. Now, what you get for your money is a train driver that's actually a cast member, and they actually have car seats and they know how to install them. So that can bring some peace of mind for some folks, especially if you have small children. But yeah, it's going to be, 3 times more expensive than your typical rideshare. So yeah, just something to consider there. They can be booked anywhere between 60 and 2 days prior to arrival. So if that's something you're interested in, it's available now.
Yeah, maybe if we had ever gone with the kids when they were car seat ages, we would have taken advantage of it.
Like a 5-point harness?
Just for that peace of mind. But now our son doesn't even need a booster for the lift, and our daughter could technically get away without the booster too, just for the short ride that it is. So for us, that price is not worth it.
No, for sure. And even to that, $199 one way, that's money. $400 round trip if you're doing both ways. Yeah, I think at that point you just do Mears Connect and,
agreed.
It's a lot cheaper.
Absolutely.
But yeah, anyway, we're past that point. But if that's you, again, Mears Connect is probably a better option because it's going to be much cheaper, right? It's $16 per person, I think. Yeah. So yeah, overall cost is going to be much lower than that. But again, if you've got the funds to spare, then it's there.
So with that being said, let's get into today's main topic, which is the 2025 EPCOT Food and Wine Festival, my favorite festival of all the EPCOT festivals. So this probably isn't shocking to anybody, but when it comes to food offerings alone, Food and Wine Festival, top notch. Like I said, our favorite. That being said, the first 2 months of the festival are usually extremely hot and humid. So you do have to contend with that heat and humidity. When it's 100 degrees or 40 degrees Celsius for us with Humidex, the last thing you might want to do is actually eat, right? Especially something hot or even heavy like cheese.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a cheesy festival.
It is a cheesy festival, absolutely. So if you're visiting in August and September, that can definitely be the case. The weather does start to get a little bit nicer in October and November, where the comfort foods and something warm and cheesy, ooey gooey might just be the perfect thing for those months.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And like Lucy's saying, post-pandemic, when we visited Food and Wine, it's actually been in late August and early September, and it's always sweltering. That's where we appreciate Flower and Garden Festival, which is usually between March and May. And we're usually there late April, early May
with the
kind of
kids.
range. And the weather is usually a little milder during that time, right? Plus the park, like as a whole, is beautiful with all the topiaries and the flowers. Yeah, it's like the prettiest at that time of year.
Agreed, yes.
But for Food and Wine specifically, the festival is just under 2 weeks away at this point, and it starts a day earlier than last year on August 28th. And it's going to run all the way through to November 22nd. So you have just about 3 full months to experience the festival. If your trip overlaps the festival, that's great because you'll be able to take advantage of some of the offerings. And some people travel to the parks solely for food and wine alone, right? So yeah, just consider that. And then returning for 2025 is Remy's Ratatouille Hide and Squeak Scavenger Hunt. And just like the other festivals and scavenger hunts throughout the year, you purchase your scavenger map essentially and your stickers from Creation Shop, Disney Traders, Festival Merchandise Kiosk, and World Traveler. And then you're going to try and find essentially the hidden Remy statuettes across the World Showcase and the global marketplaces. On your map, you match the specific stickers to the location as you're finding Remy essentially, and then that's it.
Yeah, and then when you're done with your map, whether you've completed it or not, you can bring your map to Creations, Disney Traders, or World Traveler to redeem your prize. This is a really fun way to get your kids involved in the festival offerings. So depending on your kids' age and their interests, it can be a little bit hard for them to kind of walk around the World Showcase and then have to wait in line for the festival snacks. So it's definitely a good way to keep them entertained while you get to enjoy the food and drinks. Note that you don't have to buy a map to look for the Remys. You can go hunting for them as you walk around for free. So that's completely up to you. But the map and the stickers do cost $11.99.
Yeah, exactly. And there's also a Halloween-themed scavenger hunt named Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit, which also starts on September 2nd and is going to run through the end of the festival. Or I guess not the end of the festival, through Halloween.
Yes.
And then for this one, you're going to search for hidden decorative pumpkins depicting different Disney characters. And just like Hide and Squeak, you place your stickers on your game map with their location. Once you finish, or when you've had enough, you can redeem it for a Halloween-themed surprise at Creations, Port of Entry, and World Traveler, so same places. You can do one, both, or none of these. Like we said, you can go looking for the pumpkins without a map. Either way, it's a good way to keep the kids busy, or yourself, right? You don't have to have kids to take part in this. Yeah.
The Eat to the Beats concert series is also back for 2025. These are popular bands, artists, and local acts who perform live at the America Gardens Theater nightly throughout most of the festival, so August 28th through to November 17th. There are 3 show times at 5:30 p.m., 6:45 p.m., and at 8 p.m. Each year, there's some pretty big names. Some of them do return year over year, but there are some new acts as well. Some of the more notable names that appear at the festival are The Fray, Sugar Ray, Smash Mouth, Hoobastank, Hanson, Boyz II Men, and new this year is going to be Jordan Sparks. She's got some really good hits, so that would be a fun one to see.
Yep.
Bowling for Soup, The Beach Boys, Newfound Glory, and The Wanted 2.0. The full lineup, along with the dates that they're going to be performing, are listed on the Walt Disney World website under the Food and Wine page. If you want to check out some of these artists, you can definitely check to see who is performing during your trip and then adjust your EPCOT day according to if there's an act that you really want to see. Note that the more popular names attract some big crowds, so definitely go early if this is a priority for you. Like I think Hanson, they are pretty popular. I think they attract quite the crowd.
No, for sure. There'll be some that'll draw bigger crowds than others. Yeah. And if you want a good seat without waiting in a long line, Disney actually offers Eat to the Beat dining packages, just like they do, with the other festivals. So essentially you enjoy a meal at one of the participating restaurants and receive a guaranteed seat to one of the showtimes on the day of your reservation. The price varies depending on where you eat, and not every restaurant participates. So some of the restaurants that do have dining packages are Spice Road Table, Beer Garden, Coral Reef, Le Cellier, Akershus, Garden Grill, among a few others. Regal Eagle, which is a quick service restaurant, also offers same-day dining packages. So, at a lower price point. So if that interests you, that's available as well. And you can book these on the Walt Disney World website or on the My Disney Experience app, just like any old other dining reservation, essentially.
All right, so let's put the food in Food and Wine, which in our, and honestly, most people's opinion, is the best part of this festival. We've mentioned this pro tip before, but a good way to limit your spending when it comes to snacking your way around the global marketplaces for the festival is to actually load up a gift card with the amount that you are prepared to spend. And then that's it. That's your limit. No more, no less. It is so easy to overspend at these festivals, especially for the food and wine. So this is a really good strategy to keep things, reasonable.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, an added benefit is that it's a really convenient way to pay at all the festival booths without taking out your wallet every single time you're at a booth. You can grab these at the Creation Shops, Gateway Gifts, Port of Entry, World Traveler, and then a few other places as well. You load it with whatever amount you want. It comes on one of those little plastic wristlets so that you don't lose it, and away you go, essentially. We absolutely love this.
Yeah, they're super cute too.
Yeah, and then they always have new theming each year, and then they don't cost anything extra, which is actually really nice. So just whatever you are putting onto the cart. That's all it's going to cost you. If you don't use it all at food booths, then this is actually just a standard gift card as well that you can use anywhere that Disney gift cards are accepted. And if you run out and you want to reload, you can also do that as well. We usually do this whenever we go. It's not necessary in any way, but it's definitely an option if that sounds like something that you would be interested in.
Yeah, exactly. And on that note, Emile's Fromage Montage is also back for 2025, which is the food scavenger hunt for this festival. And just like the Garden Graze at Flower and Garden, the Cookie Stroll at Festival of the Holidays, and the Wonderful Walk of Colorful Cuisine at Festival of the Arts, they basically all work the same way, right? So you can pick up your festival passport at the park entrances or at any of the booths or the marketplaces, and actually most of the merchandise locations across the park as well. So in the passport, you're going to find the featured dishes that are included in the Fromage Montage across the marketplaces. And the dishes, obviously, like they involve cheese in some way, right? The participating items are listed and marked with a little cheese wedge, so you know which ones are eligible. And they're also highlighted on their own page in the passport at the very back. And they actually do this on the My Disney Experience app as well, which is really nice. For every snack that you purchase, you get a stamp at the back of the passport. And once you've purchased and collected 5 stamps, you take it to Shimmering Sips for a specialty treat themed to food and wine. Last year, it was a little cheesecake piece on top of soft serve ice cream. I think it was blueberry cheesecake flavored or something like that. And it actually comes in a food and wine cup, which you can actually wash out and take home as a keepsake because it's made of plastic.
Yeah.
But it's not dishwasher safe. I saw that actually pop up on Facebook.
Somebody learned the hard way.
Yeah, exactly. And it just melted. And I was like, oh no.
That is sad.
Yeah, 100%.
Just a reason to go back and get another one though.
Yeah, exactly. And then like we said earlier, all of the festival food crawls or scavenger hunts, right? Whatever you want to call them. This is one of our favorites throughout the year, right? Specifically Emile's Fromage Montage.
Yes, because we like cheese.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, aside from that, the cookie stroll from Festival of the Holidays is a close second.
Very close second. The cookies are exciting too, to go and get different ones.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so without further ado, let's dive into the Foodie Guide, which Disney Parks blog released earlier this week. One thing to note that we take for granted, but is not necessarily known by all the guests, is that the booths do not open until 11 a.m. So if you were thinking about getting an early jump on that Fromage Montage and then spreading your snacks throughout the day, you can do that, but you have to wait until 11 a.m. So just something to consider here.
Yeah, exactly. With that said, so let's start in World Celebration at the Odyssey Pavilion at the Brewing booth. So they have the fried pickle spears with dill ranch, garlic parmesan wings, impossible chicken tenders with buffalo sauce, and plant-based ranch with plant-based blue cheese crumbles. They also have the Korean barbecue wings with gochujang barbecue sauce and toasted sesame. And lastly, the unnecessarily spicy yet extremely tasty Carolina Reaper pepper curry wings. That's a mouthful, but it does sound tasty, and it comes with a creamy cucumber raita. For drinks, they have a frozen pomegranate and raspberry with orange ice cream molecules. That's non-alcoholic, as well as the infamous pickle milkshake. So this is actually its 3rd year, I believe, and we've never tried it. But from what we can tell, people are pretty split on it, right? They either love it or hate it. So yeah. I mean, you can try it if you want. It's green.
Yeah,
it tastes like pickles.
I think we're always really hesitant because we love to try everything, but we want to leave space. So that would fill us up. And if we don't like it, what a waste.
No, that's the thing. And like, you know, I like pickles. I like milkshakes, but I don't associate them together. I don't know. But anyways, if you've tried it and liked it or didn't like it, let us know. Yes. They also have 3 beers that you can get in a flight and 3 hard ciders that you can also get in a flight. We've had the Garpar wings here before and they were good, right? This is definitely a safe bet if you like chicken wings.
Absolutely. I agree. So over at the Connections Eatery booth inside Connections Eatery, you have the chocolate Baumkuchen with chocolate ganache and whipped cream, and then the French onion burger, which is a gourmet beef blend with caramelized onion and Gruyere cheese on a toasted brioche bun. They'll also have the passion fruit cream slush made with passion fruit, evaporated milk, vanilla syrup, and coconut cream. This is non-alcoholic, but you can actually get a spiked version with rum.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds delicious.
Yes,
I would probably try that.
Yep.
And over at Coastal Eats near the Creation Shop, you're going to find the lump crab cake with Cajun spice vinegar slaw and remoulade, the Peruvian ceviche with mahi-mahi, shrimp, sweet potatoes, chulpe, choclo, and leche de tigre. Sorry if I'm butchering that. And the seaside pot pie with shrimp, scallops, crawfish tails, and lobster bisque topped with puff pastry. For beverages, they'll have the Boyd & Blair pomegranate cotter and Riley's Lookout Sauvignon Blanc. And there's actually a note for this booth that it's going to be available beginning on September 28th, which is interesting because I'm not sure why it would open a full month later than the actual opening because we've eaten there before. Remember, we had the shrimp scampi there. I can't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago. But yeah, it's opening a month later than the others.
Yeah, that is strange. Gyozas of the Galaxy is a brand new booth for 2025, and unsurprisingly, it is themed to Guardians of the Galaxy and is located right near the attraction as well. You're going to find the buffalo-style dumplings, which are chicken dumplings with buffalo sauce, celery root puree, blue cheese cream, crumbled blue cheese, shaved carrot, and micro celery. The French onion soup-style dumplings, which are pork and beef soup dumplings with caramelized onion, sherry beef broth, onion and Gruyere soubise, Parmesan cracker, and micro chives. And the street corn-style dumplings, which are chicken dumplings with tomatillo salsa verde, street corn salad, cotija cheese, lime crema, and cilantro. Those all actually sound really good.
Yeah, 100%. I would try any one of those. Yep.
That's an exciting new booth.
Yep.
For beverages, they have the pineapple colada made with white rum, Dole pineapple juice, and sweetened coconut milk, and Willamette Valley Vineyards Pinot Gris. From what we can tell, looking at the photos, this all really looks tasty. Like, this is an impressive booth.
Yeah, I mean, dumplings.
I wish we were going to be there for this festival this
100%.
time.
And like, to be fair, like the photos always look a little bit better than it actually.
For show.
Yeah, exactly. Than it does on the day of. But yeah, they're probably. I would try.
Yeah,
these,
I like dumplings. And those are very unique takes on dumplings.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah, very, very intriguing.
For sure. And not far from there is the Fry Basket. This is consistently one of our favorite booths at this festival. So they're going to be serving many of the same items as last year. So the adobo yuca fries with plant-based garlic cilantro aioli, truffle parmesan fries with black truffle aioli, and sweet potato casserole fries with cinnamon sugar, candied pecans, and marshmallow cream. They're also going to have a sea salt malt vinegar fries for this year. And you can get these in a flight, which we highly recommend because it's delicious. It's definitely shareable as well. So yeah, it's worth the money and the stomach space in our opinion.
Agreed.
They also have a couple of drink options as well. So the Boyd and Blair Grapefruit Mule and the Three Daughters Brewing Mojito Blonde Ale.
So still in the same area near Creations, you're going to find the Flavors from Fire Marketplace. They will be serving a Montreal-style burger slider featuring impossible beef with plant-based cheddar, tomato jam, Bibb lettuce, and plant-based garlic aioli on a sesame seed bun, and this is also plant-based. The Radizio-style grilled beef skewer with marbled potatoes, charred shallots, roasted baby peppers, and chimichurri. The smoked corned beef with house-made potato chips, cheese curds, pickled onions, and beer cheese fondue. And for drinks, they're going to have the Deschutes Brewery Black Butte Porter, the Four Virtues Bourbon Barrel Zinfandel, and the Swine Brine. That's going to be made with Jim Beam Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, apple cinnamon cider, lemon juice, and Dijon mustard, which is intriguing.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would try that, but yeah, it's there.
The Dijon mustard's throwing me off there, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Dijon mustard's and everything nowadays. we put in our salad dressing.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, at Earth Eats, which is on the other side of Spaceship Earth, like switching sides now of the park, essentially. It's near the Land Pavilion. You're going to find red wine braised short rib with goat cheese polenta, puttanesca sauce, shaved pecorino, and pitsy herbs. And for something sweet, they're going to have the lemon poppy seed cake with lemon icing. These are the exact same items that they had last year. So yeah, no changes there. And for beverages, they have the Minute Maid strawberry hibiscus aguas frescas and the Harkin Barrel fermented Chardonnay. And Sunshine Seasons inside the Land Pavilion is going to have the Remy milkshake. So it's a strawberry cheesecake milkshake topped with a cookie, a mini cheesecake, a white chocolate Eiffel Tower, and a strawberry. And actually, this looks really
fancy.
Cute. It has like a legit little mini cheesecake that looks like a cheese wedge. And yeah, I'm not a huge strawberry milkshake person. I prefer something like chocolate, but I would try this because it's super cute.
Absolutely. On the walkway between the Imagination Pavilion and the World Showcase, you are going to find the Bramblewood Bites menu, which was new last year. They're going to be serving grilled cider pork tenderloin with chili apple butter, celeriac apple slaw, and apple cider gastrique. The cast iron seared river trout with vanilla butter squash puree, Brussels sprout salad, candied pecans, and spiced pumpkin seed vinaigrette. The cast iron roasted Brussels sprouts and root vegetables with dried cranberries, spiced pumpkin seeds, and a pumpkin seed vinaigrette. And then for beverages, the Gogi Pinot Noir, a spiced apple old-fashioned inspired cocktail with Boyd and Blair rum, as well as the 81 Bay Brewing Company Nitro Bananas Foster Cream Ale.
Interesting. A Nitro Bananas Foster Cream Ale. I would probably try that.
Yeah, I don't mind
sweet.
the fruitiness in a beer sometime.
Yeah, totally. Milled and Muled is also near the Imagination Pavilion. They're going to be serving a freshly baked carrot cake with walnuts and cream cheese icing. We actually had this last year and it was delicious. And they're also going to have the fall fruit cheesecake, which is a Fromage Montage item. And it's made with Boursin fig and balsamic cheese, pomegranates, and candied pecans. We also had this last year and it was delicious.
Delicious. Agreed.
They also have two new items, the butternut squash and ginger bisque with cinnamon cream, toasted pumpkin seeds and pumpkin seed oil, and the apple, cinnamon, and caramel mini churro sundae with vanilla bean gelato. For drinks, they'll have the Three Daughters Brewing Apple Strudel Hard Cider and the Keels Farm Maple Harvest Hard Cider. This booth is 100% worth a stop in our opinion. Yeah, that like cheesecake last year was
divine.
super good.
Delicious. So still in the same area between the World Showcase and the Imagination Pavilion, you're also going to find the Forest and Field Marketplace. They will be serving the autumn chili with root vegetables, plant-based cheddar, and plant-based sour cream in a bread bowl. So last year, this was actually made with bison, lamb, and pork belly, but then they did a 180 on this one.
Like a stark 180, yeah.
So also returning is the pumpkin mascarpone ravioli with sage brown butter vinaigrette, pecorino cheese, pomegranate seeds, and hazelnut praline. So this is also on the Fromage Montage. We did try it last year. It was actually just okay for us. We couldn't tell if it was super fresh. I think that was the issue there.
Yeah, what probably happened is it was just sitting under the heater for a little while.
Yeah.
And we just didn't get a fresh one. So,
yeah, exactly.
We wouldn't say don't try it. That was just our experience. And we would actually try it again because, if we went probably at a busier time,
it had the makings of a really good eat. It's
totally.
Just, I think it wasn't fresh.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're also going to have the Shiata. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. I'm not too sure how to pronounce that. But that's a sandwich made with mortadella, prosciutto ham, sun-dried peppers, arugula, stracciatella cheese, fall squash mortata, and pistachio pesto on a warm focaccia. My God, that was a lot for one dish. And I'm sorry if I'm butchering that pronunciation.
It's funny he's saying this because before we started recording, Oliver gets it all ready, right? And he said,
I'm perusing the menu, right? And I see like some of these wordings and I'm like, oh my God, that's...
Lucy's going to have a hard time with that one. Like, because I really struggle with some of these pronunciation. So apologies fully in advance for every time I pronounce something wrong.
But anyway, that sandwich is new for this year and it does look actually really tasty, so I will give it that. For drinks, they're going to have the Brewery Omegang All Hallows Street Imperial Chocolate Peanut Butter Stout, the Daou Vineyards Chardonnay, and the Family Hugel Classic Pinot Noir. And not far from Forested Field is the Swirled Showcase. So they're going to have the liquid nitrogen frozen pumpkin cheesecake mousse featuring Philadelphia cream cheese with candied pecans and maple caramel sauce. That sounds awesome. And I would definitely try that because they've been doing these essentially smashed cheesecake things. They had like a sweet potato one that like, I think it was Food and Wine, or not Food and Wine, sorry, but Flower and Garden.
Okay.
And I find like every time they do it, it's really tasty.
Yeah.
And then they also have soft serve. So you can get that in a cone. It's vanilla, apple cinnamon, or salted caramel. And then they also have some fun drinks. So they have a Coca-Cola float, a Barq's cream soda float, or a Fanta grape float with your choice of soft serve. They also have the frozen apple pie with apple pie filling, apple cinnamon soft serve, and apple cinnamon cider topped with streusel. So that sounds pretty decadent. And they also have the Fruity Strawberry Belgian white beer. And you can also make this into a beer float with vanilla soft serve, which sounds interesting. I would definitely try that.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so now let's head into the World Showcase booths. And we're going to start off with the Australia Marketplace, which is near Disney Traders as you're heading towards the Mexico Pavilion. This is where you're going to find the grilled bushberry spiced shrimp skewer with sweet and sour vegetables and a coconut chili sauce, the roasted lamb chop with mint pesto and crushed salt and vinegar potato chips, which were also there last year.
Yeah, and then for sweet, they have something new, the mixed berry pavlova with crunchy meringue shell, macerated berries, and whipped cream. And for beverages, they have the Bulletin Place Sauvignon Blanc, the Fowles Farm to Table Shiraz, and the Yalumba Y Series Viognier. Yeah, Viognier.
Sure.
And you can get all three of these actually in a wine flight. And right next door at the Mexico Pavilion, which is another one of our favorite booths at pretty much every single festival, they have the Flauta de Barbacoa, which are fried tortillas filled with barbacoa beef and topped with salsa verde, romaine lettuce, crema mexicana, and queso fresco.
I'd want 2 orders of that. That sounds amazing.
100%. The Tostado de Carnitas, made with braised pork on a fried corn tortilla with chipotle black beans, salsa ranchera, crema mexicana, and queso fresco. And for something sweet, they have the flan de cajeta, which is a creamy Mexican custard, caramel sauce, and toasted almonds. All three of these sound really good and likely will be good. And I'm pretty sure we've had some of these offerings at past festivals, like in some way, shape, or form.
I think so,
Because I'm pretty sure that Flauta de Barbacoa, we've had that before.
Yes.
Not necessarily at Food and Wine, but at one of the festivals for sure.
Agreed.
They all kind of start to meld together, to be honest.
Yes, and they're so delicious every single time.
Exactly. And then for beverages, they'll have the Clarita Margarita with Cristalino Tequila, orange liqueur, and clarified lemon juice, Mexican craft beer, and strawberry pomegranate margarita with 100% agave blanco tequila, Havan mezcal, pomegranate liqueur, strawberry puree, and spicy agave.
So one country over at the China booth, you're going to find the chicken dumplings with house-made sweet and spicy sauce, the smoked duck bao bun with hoisin sauce, scallions, and pickled cucumber, For drinks, they're going to have the mango peach bubble tea, which is a green tea with mango and peach syrup, and white boba, and that's a non-alcoholic drink. The Baiju punch with Baiju spirit, lychee syrup, sparkling water, and pina colada mix. The Hainan Prosperity cocktail made with tequila, vodka, Minute Maid orange juice, and mango syrup. And then the frozen strawberry jasmine cocktail, which has light rum, jasmine tea, and strawberry syrup. They also have the Brew Hub Lychee Foo draft beer.
Yeah, exactly. That frozen strawberry jasmine cocktail sounds pretty good.
Delicious. Yeah.
On the walkway between China and the refreshment outpost is the India marketplace. So they're going to have the potato and pea samosa with plant-based coriander lime cream and the chicken tikka masala with fennel spiced yogurt and naan bread. These are the same offerings as last year. And a couple of years ago, they actually had a fried cheese dish here that was actually really good. You remember that? It had like a spicy chutney
I do remember that. That was delicious.
That was really good. And it was a Fromage Montage item. But yeah, we haven't seen that in the last couple of years.
That is. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yep. And then for drinks, they have a non-alcoholic mango lassi, which you can get spiced with rum, the United Brewing Taj Mahal Premium Lager, and the Sula Tropical Brut Sparkling Wine. These are all the same drinks as last year, so essentially nothing new for the India booth for 2025.
At the Refreshments Post Marketplace, there's the Impossible Spicy Sausage with piri-piri peppers and onions, and a plant-based piri-piri aioli on a sub roll. They're also going to have the Burberry Spiced Beef Stew with sweet potato, mealy pap, and kachambari slaw. And then for something sweet, they're going to have the South African cream liqueur chocolate mousse with white chocolate ganache and chocolate-covered popping candies. Okay, so last year they had something very similar that looked almost exactly like a zebra dome, the same that they have over at the Mara and Boma at Animal Kingdom Lodge. This looks somewhat similar, but definitely different from what we had last year. It looks tasty, and it's a good bet that it's probably going to be, but don't expect what they had last year just because it's definitely different.
Yeah, like last year, essentially it looked like a giant zebra dome, right? Yeah. So if you've eaten a zebra dome before, it looks essentially like kind of like cream colored chocolate thing. And it has like a little wafer at the bottom. And yeah, it's like mousse on the inside, like chocolate mousse. And last year was essentially a big version of that. And
there's something different in the inside.
Yeah, but it essentially, so it looks different, but like a lot of the ingredients are the same. So yeah, I think it's gonna have a similar flavor profile, but it's definitely not the same. So yeah, just don't expect it to be.
Yeah.
And then for beverages, they're gonna have the Bold Rock Apple Crumble Hard Cider, the Habisha Brewery's Cold Gold Pilsner, and the Gulfstream Brewing Company Cloud9 Watermelon Hibiscus Lager. Say that to
that was a lot.
The cast member.
Yeah.
At the Alps Marketplace, they have their usual 2 savory raclettes, right? So one is with Swiss cheese, alpine ham, baby potatoes, cornichons, and a baguette. And the second is the same thing without the ham, so meatless. Both of these are on the Fromage Montage, just like last year. We've had these before, and you can't go wrong, right? Cheese, bread, and veg, it's simple and well executed every single time. For sweets, they have something new. It's the Kirschwasser Torte, which is cherry brandy buttercream, fondant, sugared almonds, and cherry compote. And then for beverages, they'll have the Stiegel Brewery Goldbrau Austrian Marzen Lager and a frozen rosé. You can never go wrong with the good frosé.
So the Germany booth is another heavy hitter that consistently delivers absolutely delicious options. They have the hugely popular Schinken noodle, which is a pasta gratin with ham, onion, and cheese. It's essentially a really dense mac and cheese. And this is also on the Fromage Montage. It's really good. We had it again last year and can confirm it's just as good as ever. It was very hearty. It just was a very tasty meal.
For sure. And it was hot. So yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, if you're going in like November, it's definitely
it'd be a really good one. They also had the bratwurst on a pretzel bun served with mustard and then an apple strudel with vanilla sauce. Same as last year, but it's so good we're not mad about it.
Yeah, exactly. And then for drinks, they have the Schafferhofer Berry Lime Hefeweizen, Weihenstephaner Fest beer, the Von Trapp Brewing Oktoberfest Marzen Style Lager, and you can get these in a beer flight. And then lastly, you can also get the Selbach Oster Riesling QBA. Not sure what that is.
Well done with saying those names.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've had a bunch of Schafferhofers, the grapefruit ones.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah, so good. And still in Germany, Summerfest tucked back there way at the back, right, is also getting a festival exclusive. And it's going to be the Zwiebelkuchen. This is a German onion cake with caramelized onions, bacon, herbs, and a savory custard. So if you look at the photo of this thing, it essentially looks like a pizza, right? So it has like it's essentially like bread on the bottom with cheese and all the toppings on top. Yeah, it looks like a pizza. So yeah,
it'd be tasty.
I'd be curious to try it for sure. Over at the Spain booth, in between Germany on the way to the Italy pavilion, they're going to have 3 new options. The Trio de Pinkstos with jamon croqueta, pan con tomate, and tortilla española. the paella caldoso with rock shrimp, bay scallops, and smoked mussels, and the Basque cheesecake with orange sauce, which is on the Fromage Montage. For beverages, they have the Quinta del 67 Garnacha Tintorera and the Summer in Spain, made with frozen Simply Lemonade and yellow chartreuse liqueur and green chartreuse liqueur.
So next door at the Italy Marketplace, they have 3 new options as well. The Bacchetti, in quotations, Kisses di Pizza, which is a traditional Napoli street food. It's made with pizza dough, pepperoni, mozzarella, and tomato sauce. The Tortellini alla Vodka, which is 4-cheese tortellini, vodka sauce, parmesan, and Calabrian chili oil. And for a sweet treat, they have a chocolate spuma made of chocolate mousse, caramel sauce, espresso whipped cream, and puffed rice. For beverages, they have the Bellini Spritz made with Italian aperitivo liqueur, peach puree, and prosecco. The Italian-inspired blood orange margarita made with tequila, triple sec, and blood orange liqueur. And then they also have a Chianti, an Italian red sangria, Moscato, Peroni Pilsner, Prosecco, and the Sorsi d'Oro, in quotation, Sips of Gold Italian Pilsner.
And over at the American Adventure Pavilion, Block & Hans is getting the frozen Chipotle Pineapple Lemonade made with Minute Maid lemonade and Chipotle Pineapple syrup with a chili lime salt rim, which is non-alcoholic, but you can get a spiked version with Tito's handmade vodka. Regal Eagle gets the cherry lime slush made with frozen Minute Maid cherry limeade with cherry syrup, which is also non-alcoholic. And the Flavors of America booth will have the Gulf Coast style seafood roll with warm water lobster, rock shrimp, lobster bisque, and sherry creme fraiche on a toasted brioche bun. The New England slider with slow braised beef pot roast with spicy giardiniera, horseradish cream, and crispy fried onions on a potato roll. Both of these are new for this year. And returning for dessert, they have the freshly baked chocolate pudding cake with Kentucky bourbon caramel, which, super tasty. We tried that last year.
It was delicious.
Definitely holds up.
Agreed.
For beverages, they'll have the Harpoon Brewery Flannel Friday Hoppy Amber Ale, the Playa Linda Brewing Company Pumpkin Cheesecake Blanc Stout, and Von Trapp Brewing Nature Hell's Lager, and you can get all of these in a beer flight.
The funnel cake stand between America and Japan will get a huckleberry funnel cake with huckleberry ice cream, whipped cream, chocolate sauce, blackberry brandy glaze, and powdered sugar. We're not actually big funnel cake people, but we're not here to judge if you like it. The booth always looks busy, so obviously people do like it. It's just not something that we would fill our stomachs with.
Yeah, we wouldn't prioritize that yet.
The Japan Marketplace will have the Beef Wagyu Don, which is a traditional Japanese rice bowl with American Wagyu beef blend over steamed white rice served with homemade pickles, shredded togarashi pepper, and pickled ginger. The Osakana Karagi, which is a crispy fried pollock with spicy mayonnaise and sweet and creamy yuzu sauce, and the teriyaki chicken bun, which is a steamed bun filled with minced chicken, vegetables, and a teriyaki sauce. For beverages, they will have the Peachy Mango Boba, which is a crafted Calpico peach juice with mango popping boba, which is a non-alcoholic option, and then the Brulando Brewing Fuji Apple IPA, the Sake Politan cocktail that has simply cranberry juice and a hint of yuzu, and then the sparkling sake Otakayama.
Wow, well done. Yeah, that sounds delicious. Nearby at the Greece Marketplace between Japan and Morocco, they have the spanakopita, Impossible Beef Moussaka, and of course the hugely popular griddle cheese with pistachios and honey, right? So this is our...
Mouth is watering just thinking
100%.
about this.
This is a must-get item each time we're at Food and Wine. It's just such nice flavors, right? It's delicious. Like the saltiness from the cheese and the sweetness from the honey. Yes, a little bit
Do not sleep on this one. If you can eat cheese, don't sleep on this one.
No, for sure. And it has that little bit of crunch too from the pistachios.
It's delicious.
Always so good. Plus, it's on the Fromage Montage, right? So it's going to get you your stamp. They also have a lamb gyro with shaved lettuce, tomato cucumber relish, and tzatziki on a warm flatbread. All told, right, this is the exact same options as last year, right? So nothing new for Greece, but they do it well. So yeah, we're not mad about that either. For drinks, they have the Milonis Winery Acertico Dry White, Skouras Zoe Rose, a dry red wine, and you can get these in a flight. They also have a Greek melon limeade cocktail with Klijos Mestiha Spirit, Artonic melon aperitif, pearl vodka, and lime sour mix. Again, same options as last year.
And then over at the Morocco Pavilion at the Tangerine Cafe, Flavors of the Medina, they actually have a new option here outside of the usual kebabs. This is going to be the Moroccan wrap with tomato cucumber relish and a garlic sauce served on a warm Moroccan flatbread. And then you can get that with chermoula chicken, Moroccan spiced lamb, or a plant-based falafel. They also have their usual stone-baked Moroccan bread with assorted dips, and then the pistachio cake with cinnamon pastry cream and candied walnuts. The Moroccan bread is... on point.
So good. So good.
I'm just going to say that. It's on point. For beverages, they have the fig cocktail made with Kleiner Figling Fig Liqueur and a white cranberry juice, the Keel Farms Blackberry Pearl Hard Cider, the Keel Farms Golden Apple Chai Hard Cider, the Playa Linda Brewing Company Fig Rhubarb Orange and Ginger Hard Cider, which you can actually make into a hard cider flight.
Yeah, exactly. And then between Morocco and France is the Belgium marketplace. So they're going to be serving beer braised beef served with smoked Gouda, mashed potatoes, as well as a Belgian waffle with warm chocolate ganache or berry compote with whipped cream. For beverages, there's chilled Belgian coffee, which you can get spiked with chocolate deluxe salted caramel chocolate liqueur, the Brewerge St. Bernardus Dragon Wit Beer, the Brewerge Van Steegberg Golden Drac Triple Ale, and the Brewerge Verhage Duchess Cherry Red Ale, and you can get all three of these in a flight. And next door at the Brazil marketplace, which is also between France and Morocco, you have returning the Pão de Queijo, which is a Brazilian cheese bread. This is a Fromage Montage item pretty much every year. And you have the feijoada, which is black beans, pork belly, Brazel nut pesto, and Ben's original long grain white rice. For drinks, they have the 81 Bay Brewing Company Bossa Nova Lager and the frozen caipirinha with cacheca spirit.
So next up is the France Pavilion. So just like Germany and Mexico, this is always a heavy hitter, and it consistently puts out delicious options, and then always has that long lineup as well to go with those delicious options.
Yeah, it's always busy there.
Yeah. So they have 4 new options this year. The beef bourguignon with red wine braised short rib with potato puree, brioche aux épices, which is a spiced brioche with 3 cheese mornay filling, the trio d'escargot, which is a trio of escargot bites, and a croissant dough served with a garlicky parsley dip. And then for something sweet, they're going to have the creme brulee vanille, which is vanilla creme brulee with blueberry lime compote. Each of these looks absolutely delicious, and we would definitely try any of these for sure. And then for drinks, they have the chilled French Cosmo, instant Becco Bordeaux, and L'Océan Atlantique Sauvignon Blanc. Sure. And then I'm going to skip over to Canada because surprisingly enough, the UK does not have anything.
Yeah, sometimes the beer cart there has like a festival drink, but yeah, there's nothing on the menu.
So we'll just skip right on through there over to the Canada booth where they have returning the popular, and I mean popular, everybody likes to get this one, cheddar and bacon soup served with a pretzel roll. Not super appealing on a hot day, I'm definitely going to say that, but it would be nicer if you were there in October or November. And then they also have the filet mignon with mushrooms and mashed potatoes featuring the Boursin garlic and fine herbs cheese. For beverages, they have the Château des Charmes Pétale Rouge and the Collective Arts Brewing Pilsner.
And right next to the entrance to the Canada Pavilion, from the entrance of the World Showcase, essentially, is the refreshment port booth. So they have a braised beef poutine with mushroom sauce and Boursin garlic and fine herbs cheese curds, and gherkin relish. And for beverages, they'll have the Brewery Omegang Oaked Aged Watermelon Kolsch, the Florida Orange Groves Winery Sparkling Peach Wine, and the Boyd & Blair Pumpkin Spice Mule. And not far next to portion of entry is Shimmering Sips. So reminder that this is also where you're going to redeem your completed Fromage Montage if you're doing that. They'll also be serving a strawberry champagne trifle that looks very pretty. It's layered in a clear cup and the presentation is on point for this one. And they're also going to have a berry mimosa, a blood orange mimosa, and the tropical mimosa that you can make into a mimosa flight.
That would be a fun one to have, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And then right next to Shimmering Sips is the Hawaii booth. And they have their very popular slow roasted pork sliders with sweet and sour chutney featuring dole, pineapple, and spicy mayonnaise. They have a Hawaiian rice bowl with spam, eggs, eel sauce, spicy mayonnaise, and furikake. And then for a sweet treat, they have the pineapple cheesecake with passion fruit curd and macadamia nuts, which is a Fromage Montage item. It's not bad, but it's also not great. We would probably prioritize other Fromage Montage items just because this is a pretty standard offering, but to each their own. And then for beverages, they have the Florida Orange Groves Winery Sparkling Pineapple Wine, the Maui Brewing Company Orange Mango Guave Hazy IPA, and the Oahu Sunrise that's made with vodka, Dole pineapple juice, and grenadine, which is honestly really tasty. It's just juice, essentially.
Yep.
And we would definitely recommend that drink as well. Just don't give it to your kids because it does have vodka in it.
Yeah, exactly. And then last but certainly not least is the Joffrey's carts across the park, right? So each is going to get a festival-exclusive coffee drink. So the American Adventure card gets the Butterscotch Cookie Cold Brew made with Joffrey's French Roast Cold Brew, cookie butter syrup, and butterscotch syrup topped with whipped cream and sea salt caramel toffee sauce.
The Disney Traders location gets a fudge brownie cold brew made with Joffrey's shaken Jamaican cold brew, Irish cream syrup, and dark chocolate sauce topped with whipped cream, dark chocolate sauce, and chocolate powder.
Yeah, and the card between the UK and Canada pavilions gets the creme brulee cold brew made with Joffrey's French Roast Cold Brew and creme caramel syrup topped with whipped cream and caramel sauce.
And then lastly, the cart near Guardians of the Galaxy gets the churro latte made with espresso with your choice of milk, dulce de leche sauce, and a cinnamon syrup topped with whipped cream and cinnamon.
Yeah, exactly. So as always, right, there's just so much food available at this festival and pretty much any festival, right?
Yes.
But realistically, you have to prioritize. So what we like to do is we peruse the menus ahead of time, essentially, and we write down which items we want to for sure try and go from there, right? And that also includes which of the the selection of the Fromage Montage items that we want to prioritize. We also list those, right? It's worth mentioning that if you're going to be heading to EPCOT for at least a couple days, so not just one day, essentially, you don't have to get it all done in one day, right? You can stretch that over the length of your trip or more than one trip, right? If you're fortunate enough to be able to go twice or more during the festival, you can definitely you can get it done at essentially any time between those 3 months, right? So basically end of August to end of November.
Anytime we've done the food and wine, we haven't had our kids with us and we have park hopper tickets.
Yep.
So honestly, we might be at Hollywood Studios in the morning and then we'll be like, we're getting hungry.
Yep.
Let's head on over to food and wine.
We usually pop into Epcot a few times.
We're there a few times. So we like to just spread it out. Definitely. That way you can honestly hit up a lot more booths and have a lot more items.
Yeah, exactly.
And it would not be a festival without festival merch. And the merch looks really, really cute this year. They have a Chef Mickey and a Chef Remy themed items. So kitchenware, apparel, decor, pins, accessories like lug bags. There's never any shortage of merchandise. And we're partial to the merchandise for Food and Wine specific because we like to have pops of Disney in our kitchen. We have the Food and Wine salt and pepper shakers, a Remy's kitchen timer, tea towels, aprons, spatulas, among a few other things. We may have a problem.
Yeah, no, 100%. If you walk into our house, it starts subtle, but then you get into the kitchen and the living room and you're like, oh.
Especially and then Christmas and Halloween time. Yeah. We're the running joke for our friends.
Yeah. And I'm fine with it.
Yeah, me too.
With that said, thank you for joining us today to talk food and wine. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And as always, if you could leave us a rating and review, it would be greatly appreciated. If you choose to do so, you can leave reviews right on Apple Podcasts. And for Spotify, you can leave a rating.
You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Let's Go to Disney, as well as on our Facebook page, Let's Go to Disney. We share some helpful reels here as well as some fun ones. The link tree in the show notes will take you to all of our socials.
Have a great day and we'll see you real soon.